My husband, 33 male, and his stepmom, 48 female, are acting weird AF. Okay, so IDK if I'm crazy or what, but something weird is going on and I need y'all to tell me if I'm overreacting or if I should be calling like Dr. Phil or the FBI or something. So my husband, 33M, has this stepmom, I think she's like 48F. IDK, but she looks like she sells fancy candles and does yoga with crystals, and they've been close since his dad married her like 10 years ago. Whatever. I ain't never had a problem with her before except she hugs him for like 3 minutes straight and calls him my little man. Which is weird cause he's 6'2" and bald, but whatever. So last weekend we at her house for some barbecue and everything's normal until she brings out this homemade, gut healing smoothie, and says it's just for him. He drinks it and then she wipes the corner of his mouth with a napkin like he's 4 and she's like, see? Mama takes care of her baby. And I laughed cause I thought it was a joke, but they both looked at me like I farted in church. Then things got weirder. She starts talking about how when he was a teen she used to rub his back until he fell asleep. Again, she's his stepmom, not his mom. And he goes, "Ah yeah, those were the days." And I swear to God I saw her wink at him. I was like, okay, maybe this is just some rich people boundary-less shit. But then after dinner she's like, you should stay the night. You can sleep in the guest room and husband can sleep in the big bed like he used to. I said excuse me and she goes, oh I meant you both can sleep in there. But then adds, unless you want to sleep separate. I know how you like your space. Y'all, I left. I'm at my cousin's house right now eating Cheetos and wondering if I need an exorcist or a lawyer. Husband keeps texting me like, why are you mad? She's just being nice. Am I trippin'? Do I just not understand fancy stepmom love? Do I need therapy or a taser? Advice appreciated. I love him but this is giving emotional Game of Thrones. Lol, this is well written. First, I would like to know if you're enjoying your Cheetos. Second, you may need to an exorcist, lawyer, therapy and a taser. Okay, all of that would give me pause and think something hinky was going on. They're acting like lovers, not stepmom and stepson. It's giving bot. Where is his dad in this? I mean she is his stepmom, not his actual mom, so it's not unheard of that they had a relationship at some point behind his dad's back. That said, you really never noticed this before now? He's your husband after all, so unless you guys were married just yesterday or something, I find it hard to believe you never really noticed anything between them until recently. Either way, at least this is a good experience for you to know your future partner's family a bit better after you divorce this one. This situation isn't worth the headache to understand, to be honest, and they honestly won't just come out and tell you everything just because you ask. I've seen this video more than a few times online. I'm 30M, setting a clear boundary with my wife, 31F, an ultimatum, perhaps. So, my wife and I are in a trial separation which is going close to 4 months now. The trial separation was initiated by her. It came as a bit of a surprise, but I wasn't shocked, so things weren't rock solid to begin with. Through the process I've tried to get clarity on what she's thinking, whether she's leaning out the door or thinking of reconnecting. She's never been able to give me clarity in a conversation, but her actions have made it seem she's out the door, and the door's staring to close behind her. A few standout actions are that any of my attempts to reconnect in a low-pressure way have been rejected. She moved out, probably about 1.5 months ago. I put the ball in her court and since then, communication has dropped a lot. She has also booked a solo holiday but with a one-way ticket. This holiday in isolation I could manage. It's a little weird that it's a one-way ticket, but if she was happy to communicate during the vacation, it could work. Anyway, we're close to the date where she flies away on her trip and I discovered she just got a contraceptive implant a week before her departure day. Here's the kicker though, I had a vasectomy 5 years ago. Her reasoning is that she got it to help with headaches from periods. This might be true, but the timing just seems off, and she didn't communicate any of this. I had came across the invoice when I was cleaning. I'm not satisfied with this reasoning. You can spit in my face but don't try to tell me it's raining. Now for the ultimatum. Next time we sit down to chat, I'm going to tell her that if she wants to reconnect then she has to cancel this trip and agree to work on us. If she goes on this trip now, after getting a contraceptive implant, there's no way to recover and they'll be the end of our almost decade-long marriage. I know ultimatums sound controlling, but this sounds reasonable, right? Her silence is speaking volumes. You are not ending the marriage, you are just acknowledging she already has. She is not going to cancel her trip, so save yourself the heartache and start divorce papers. Your marriage ended a while ago. You just need to formalize this. Came as huge surprise, but I wasn't shocked. Which one is it? Her actions have made to seem like she's out the door. Yeah, because she's out the door. Literally. Why has she left you? If it because you seem very laid back about her not staying with you but seem to know everything she's been up to? Reddit will always tell you to DTMFA. Op, you've given us nothing about your relationship. You're separated and she has a BC device, aren't marriage details. You don't sound like you care, though. Maybe you're speaking from a place of hurt, but there's nothing in your post that's kind or loving. Finally, so many others are championing your patience, reads as inactivity to me. If you're trying to get ahead of her, now, you've moved from a couple-type agreement to a competition. Tell us about what you're doing to repair the marriage. Couples counseling? Individual counseling? Boundaries and ultimatums aren't the same thing. It feels like you're setting up a bait-and-switch so you'll look blameless. Trial separations are only a trial if they have an end date, and whilst separated you're actively working on getting back together, i.e. therapies, ongoing conversations about how to fix the problems, or it's not a trial separation at all, you've just split up. What to do about my sister-in-law, 26F, making inappropriate comments about my 24F boyfriend, 30M. I'm a 24F in a long-term relationship with my boyfriend, 30M. We've been together for a couple of years and are preparing to advance the relationship very soon. It should be a joyful time, but I've been feeling incredibly uncomfortable by my sister-in-law, brother's wife, F26. I need to know if I'm being dramatic or if this is as inappropriate as it feels because I'm losing sleep over this. A few months ago, my sister-in-law started making comments toward my boyfriend that felt off. What began as occasional remarks has turned into what I can only describe as flirtatious, boundary-crossing behavior. Here's a rundown of what she said and done recently. Gifted him a Dunkin' gift card, which I thought was a sweet gesture. It was only her turning to me afterwards and saying she hopes he thinks of her when he drinks his coffee in the morning, and maniacally laughing that I found odd. Was wearing revealing workout clothes before he came over one day and joked about staying in them so she could tell him that she was working out, even though she wasn't. Talked about learning to cook food from his culture and wanting to host him herself, which, to me, feels like blatant overstepping, but she insisted that cooking is her love language, so it's okay. When he once blew me a kiss, she dramatically ducked and said, "Don't worry, I ducked," as if the gesture was meant for her. She had called him and made it a point to text me to tell me that she's on the phone with him and to not worry, because that's not his sneaky link weary. The implication alone was odd to me. In the middle of a serious text convo between us about a family member's surgery, she randomly said, "Tell BFS name to pull up weary," completely unrelated and unnecessary. Surgery was for a family member on her side, by the way. The majority of these comments and jokes are made only to me privately. She acts relatively normal in front of him. I notice some semi-pick-me behavior that I shrug off when she's actually in front of him, but nothing too alarming. She did tell him multiple times that she is so excited to meet his mom and dad, and that she can't wait to have conversations with them when our families eventually meet. It just feels like encroachment to me. Why do you feel so excited to meet my boyfriend's parents? Is this not inappropriate? I viewed meeting my siblings-in-laws as a necessary part of their marital process. Nothing I was super thrilled about or bringing up constantly. I already have a relationship with his parents, but I just found this odd. My own siblings aren't this excited. I've kept my mouth shut about all of this. I've said nothing to her and nothing to my boyfriend, because I've been afraid of looking insecure, jealous, or like I'm starting drama, especially at an important time like this. I just feel like I'm being gaslit into thinking this behavior is normal. It's not. I still care about my sister-in-law and honestly love her. I don't want to blow up my family. But I'm starting to question if her intentions are genuinely sisterly or something else entirely. At this point, I feel disrespected by her and honestly disappointed in myself for not speaking up sooner. So I'm asking Reddit, how would you personally interpret this kind of behavior from a family member? Has anyone navigated something like this before, and what worked? How can I bring this up to my boyfriend or her in a way that's constructive, not explosive? What are some ways I can draw boundaries without causing a total family blow up? How do I protect my peace while staying grounded and not reactive? Thanks in advance for the help. You both should react every time like it is as weird as it is. You want me to think of you while drinking coffee? Why? Why would you want Dave to think you've been working out? What? What do you mean? I don't get it. Act confused about why she's being weird. Because she is being weird. Also, are you sure you like her and want to spend a lot of time with her? Girl, you gotta tell her honestly and respectively, because if you don't, she won't stop. A simple "hey, this behavior is disrespectful and you need to stop" should suffice. If not, take it up with your brother. Then tell your man as well. Don't let someone else ruin what you're building, but also don't let yourself ruin it by allowing others to disrespect you. Then distance yourself. She knows better and your brother deserves better. Could you maybe get your fiancé to call her out on it? If he embarrasses her and gets to realize how weird she's acting, maybe she will stop. This girl really needs to be shamed for this wild behavior, and your man might be the best person to do it. You definitely need to bring it up to him, He probably thinks it's weird too but hasn't said anything because you haven't said anything. Good luck, op. You can be direct without being rude. Tell her it makes you uncomfortable and it's not appropriate. Does your brother know? If not, tell him. Either way, ask him how he feels. Does she act this way around all men? She is screaming, me me me. I must be the center of attention. Every time she does this, look at her and say, that's weird. She is definitely wanting his attention. I'd put a stop to it before it escalates. My 25F fiancé 40M and I got into an argument last night, and he kicked a door open? I'm really freaked out by this. Has never happened before and we have been together a few years. So first off, he has been insanely stressed from work lately and I has been really irritable. Every Thursday I do our big grocery shop. Normally I text him even though he knows I go every Thursday, but because he keeps getting mad and is stressed I decided not to bother him. I was driving home at about 6 p.m. and I got a few texts from him that he had sent earlier but I didn't have service. I responded saying on my way home. As soon as I walked in the door I went to kiss him and he flipped out, said he was hungry and a bunch of stuff about me not texting him and taking too long. He started screaming at me that I have all day to grocery shop. Which normally he gets home a bit later on Thursdays, and I plan to get there around the same time as him and make him a drink, snack until dinner. It's always been our routine and there has never been an issue. I started crying immediately because I can't stand getting yelled at. He was kind of grabbing me aggressively, but not hurting me on purpose. My eyes started burning and I couldn't see, just got a lash fill, so fumes were getting me I think. And I decided to go lock myself in the bathroom to calm down, get cleaned up and breathe a bit. Then I was going to talk to him once both of us calmed down. He knocked on the door a few times. I said to him to give me a sec to calm down. I don't know if he thought I was like crawling out our third floor window or what made him do it, but he kicked the bathroom door open. It freaked me out a lot. I didn't expect it and it was really scary. I also never really thought of that as something he could do, or that any normal person could do if that makes sense. He has apologized like crazy, and I can get past most of it but kicking the door in is really bugging me. I told him it scared me and he just said sorry and laughed a bit. That's really all I said, and then me being stupid I just responded, it's okay, when it really wasn't. I feel like I need to talk about it again but I am scared he'll get mad if I bring it up now. Op, you are in danger. There is zero reason anyone should be this violent, especially to their loved ones. Do you have a support system outside of him? Reach out to a trusted friend or family member and get some help. He laughed at you being scared of him. He's testing you to see how much you will let slide, and you saying you are afraid to bring it up again is telling that you are not safe. Please stay safe and please tell someone you trust in your life who can be aware of your situation. You lost me at 40M. Girl, be so fr. There's always a reason aside from sexual desires that a man wants someone who's barely been an adult for long. Gee, this guy must wonder why no woman his own age will date him, so he resorts to dating girls nearly half his age. I know usually people jump to the leave when a minor issue happens. But this dude got upset because you did errands later, and put his hands on you. Then also kicked the bathroom door open. If you're scared he's going to get mad because you voice your fears, run. Please get out of this situation. You're young, and you don't want to stay with a man like this. What's going to happen if he get angry again and gets physical again, but this time leaves a mark? What happens if you have kids with this man and he gets angry at them? And you make him a drink and snack? Why can't he do it himself? Sounds like he's looking more for a slave than an actual partner. Girl, he's 40 and you're 25. There's a reason he targeted you. Leave him. Are you staying? Because this is definitely not normal. You know you have to leave. Start saving and making a plan. The stupid old man is going to get worse.